empty, I feel so belly. They say I made it and that should be satisfaction.
Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Nanny Phantom and we are here back on the channel. This is gonna be a really fun video. As you see in the title, it should have the name already written out, but this is pretty much a draft league, but with a nice twist because I have one of my closest friends here. He goes by Ft.Jricky right now. He's one of my closest buddies, and we're here in a league where it's pretty much a draft league with a teammate. We're gonna be on call, we're gonna be battling people, and yeah, Ricky, just say hi, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? Like Danny said, it is Ft.Jricky. People may know me as Hero Horde in the past. I was a goated draft league player as well, you know, all that good stuff. And yeah, I just stopped playing Mons. I've come back to it now, and yeah, it's gonna be a team league, which is gonna be very different. I'm excited to go ahead and do it with you.
Yeah, man. Out of everyone, like you were one of my favorite battlers back in the OG times that we were playing together. So for both of us to have our first like team league, it's gonna be pretty lit. I'm pretty excited about it also.
Yeah, it's gonna be good fun.
And again, guys, like, you know, this is me being back on YouTube and everything, so it may be a little bit rusty in the beginning because you have to get back into the flow of just talking to, you know, a mic. But luckily, Ricky being here with me, it just makes it a lot easier because it's really like I'm just having a conversation with a good friend, and then you guys also watching, which you know you're our friends too, so this should be kind of fun. This should be fun. So for this league there are 8 teams. So the roster itself, we had a lot of good choices to pick from, and there were some very weird mons in certain tiers that kind of didn't belong there. So of course, you know, me and Ricky just being the goats, we had some good steals in there. And our team is gonna be the SL Benfica, right? SL?
Yeah.
Cool, perfect. And I don't know if you guys remember my team. My team was not SL Benfica. That's actually Ricky's team. I wanted to have a new team, and I love that logo. So I was like, yo, Ricky, let's use your logo. Let's use your team, so we can get these W's. You felt good about that, right?
Yeah, no, that was great.
All right, cool. So this league itself, again, it is 8 teams, and it is a Galar Dex league. So not national decks. There are no cut moves. There's no pursuit. There's no hidden power, and whatever other moves are not in this game because I don't remember all of them. But pretty much there's not every single Pokemon in the whole decks that you normally would see. So we're following those rules. And it's a tier-based system. So we had to do tier 1. We had to do tier 2. We had to do 2 tier 3s and 2 tier 4s, 1 tier 5. 4 free picks with 400 points. A tier 1 takes away 180 points, tier 2 takes away 120, tier 3 100, tier 4 60, and tier 5 40. So we kind of have to play around that. Me and Ricky were talking about it a lot, kind of forming the team we wanted. And the very first mon, which it really depended on our draft, like where we were in the actual draft, if we will actually get this mon. I'm sure a lot of people would pick this mon if they were actually second, which we were. The first placement team, they picked Toxapex, so they kind of missed out on this one. But let's just go straight into it. So we were the second ones to pick in the whole draft. There was only 8 people. And the mon that we did pick was Urshifu Single Strike. So as everybody already knows, Urshifu Single Strike is just broken. It recently got put into Ubers. It is a great mon just to have a choice band, life orb, even scarf if you feel like the team you're playing against is not too defensive, or they don't have a good fairy to kind of take on Urshifu. Good thing with Urshifu is the most broken move, as Ricky, I told Ricky when we first started chatting about this. Wicked Blow, a crit move. How do you feel about that move, Ricky?
No, that move is really busted. For you to have a move that's 80 base power that never misses and will always crit, I mean, that's just busted, because it doesn't matter how many times people can bulk up in your face, no matter how many stat changes they have, you're gonna run through it. And that coming off of 130 attack from Urshifu, I mean, that's just busted. It just sounds busted to me. I don't know. I've never used it. I've never seen anybody use it. It just sounds busted to me, though.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean like it being stab, and then Urshifu itself having the dual stab of fighting in dark. Close combat has always, every single generation, been one of the best moves to just spam. It's it hits like a truck. It drops your defenses, but it doesn't drop your attack or speed like what's it called, like superpower, or what's the other one called, hammer arm or whatever.
I think hammer arm.
Hammer arm, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's the good thing about Urshifu, and if you look at Urshifu's stats right now, base 100 HP, bulky as hell, attack 130, defense 100, Spadef not the best, but speed 97, which is good. It's not the best speed, but it's good for a mon that just freaking runs through almost everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good speed tier to sort of like be that wall breaker, so it's going to be able to outspeed a lot of walls no matter what. And if you just slap a choice band on it, you run it adamant, you're just going to break through everything. So even if Urshifu doesn't end up being the mon that picks up all the kills, it will just like tear every team apart, and then we just bring something else that can go ahead and clean up. So it's a really good mon. I think it's going to be the MVP. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'd be shocked if it isn't, but and then one last thing about it is just its ability, which is pretty cool, because a lot of times when you're going up against someone and they have a very strong mon that can either pick one move or another move, like let's say Urshifu's in front of you. Is he going to click close combat or wicked blow or poison jab? It can kind of help you decide on what you're going to bring in. A lot of times you can handle something that's locked into a certain move is with protect, but because of its ability unseen fist, that thing just breaks right through protect. So that makes it even harder to kind of handle this mon, because a lot of times where I do have someone that's very powerful in front of my mon, I click protect, I'll be like, all right, he's stuck on close combat, I'm gonna go to some flying type or something like that. But nope, you can't do that in this situation.
Yeah, there's literally no escaping Urshifu. It doesn't matter if you boost your defense, it doesn't matter if you protect, like it just doesn't matter. You're just gonna have to catch a very, very strong attack, one way or another.
I'm gonna catch these hands. All right, cool. So that's Urshifu. A lot of you guys know Urshifu is a very, very good mon. I'm very happy we got to pick it, because I literally told Ricky, hey Ricky, you want to join this league? He said yeah. I was like, hey Ricky, let's pick Urshifu. He said yeah. so we got what we wanted pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as you guys know, Urshifu, one of its really only weakness, like only things that can actually take hits from its dual stab, is fairies. So fairies like Clefable, Togekiss, Tapu Fini, they're like the very few mons that can actually take a few hits from Urshifu. So what we wanted to get is a good steel type to be able to come in on those mons and just pretty much take any hit, even if it's a coverage move like Mystical Fire or Flamethrower or anything like that. And that mon that we did pick is Celesteela. This time I'm gonna let Ricky start off with the Celesteela talk.
Right. Well, what I just want to say first before we get into Celesteela, our initial plan was going to be Aegislash.
Yeah.
But the team that picked Aegislash, they just brought up like a random Pokemon generator, and they randomized them on, and our luck, of course, he lands straight on Aegislash. So we sort of had to reevaluate our plan. I mean, Celesteela is not bad, but just Aegislash just has that type synergy with Urshifu. That would just be so good. But we ended up going with Celesteela. It's still a pretty good mon. I mean, it's very fat. It has really good stats. I think this gen I haven't really played with it, so I don't know if it's as good as it was like last gen, but I remember last gen Celesteela was really good because you could run it physically offensive, physically defensive, specially offensive, specially defensive. You can tweak the EV set so you can get a boost in a certain stat, be it in speed if you want to outspeed something. Its coverage isn't like, the craziest thing in the world, but its heavy slam just hits really, really hard, and it can just be sort of like a defensive mon. If you just leech seed somebody, you can just sort of sit in front of them and they can't really break you down. But the most important thing was that we get a steel type that would be able to deal with fairy type, so that Urshifu doesn't struggle all that much. And I think Celesteela does that pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. Celesteela, like you said, in previous gens was just really annoying. I always hated going up against it. I haven't really touched it much either this gen. So it's kind of, that's why when you brought up Celesteela, at first I was kind of like, but then I was like, wait, I want to try it out. I want to see how good it is this gen, because just trying out new mons in general is gonna help us just get better. Again, me and Ricky were playing mons for a while, but we stopped for a while. I kind of recently been playing a little bit more than Ricky. Ricky's been coming back, trying to learn everything too. So this league is just gonna be great for the both of us to kind of learn from each other. And yeah, Celesteela is gonna be a great mon. And again, that ability, the Beast Boost, that is just too good, man. That thing, it's either gonna raise its defense, because like Celesteela's stats all the way around are very close to each other. So 97 HP, 101 attack, 103 defense, 107 special attack, 101 special defense, and then the speed is pretty slow, but that's all right. 61 in speed. So that means, yeah,
and choose to get the boost in speed instead of anywhere else. So
yeah,
definitely doable.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, you can even, if you really feel like Celesteela is gonna sweep a team and you need that speed, you know, what's it called, atomize or whatever, to double its speed. Yeah. So Celesteela is cool because I really like it because of the ability, because you can, like you said, run the EVs exactly how you want it. If you want a more bulky build and then you kill someone, you revenge kill something and it raises his defense, you know, it's going to be harder to take down. It's going to whittle down a wall or whittle down an offensive mon, and then Urshifu can come in and just wreck. So like, pretty great. I think it's a solid
we're gonna find out together if Celesteela is still like an S tier mon.
Yeah.
But yeah, should be good fun anyways.
Yeah, I feel like it will be. I think it'll be pretty solid. All right, cool. So next up, the next mon is, I think, one of the most crucial ones also. These three are kind of work very well with each other, and like I said before when we were talking about Urshifu, there's like, I would say there's like 3 Pokemon that can take on Urshifu: Clefable, Tapu Fini, and Togekiss, because of just how fat they are and how they can take its double stab, even some poison jabs. But saying that, we decided to take one of the 3 that can pretty much take on Urshifu, and that is Togekiss. So Togekiss, probably my favorite mon this gen, to be honest. I love drafting this mon. I told Ricky, like, out of like 4 leagues or like 5, I think this is my 5th league, I've taken it like 3 times. And
for a good reason.
What happened?
And for a good reason, you've been drafting it so much.
Yeah.
Because Togekiss is just so good and reliable at what it does.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, Togekiss was always one of my favorite fairies, like every single gen, but this gen, because of heavy duty boots, oh man, like, I just feel like I can come in with this thing and not have to worry about anything. I'm always gonna come in at almost full health. I can always roost up because almost nothing can 2-hit KO unless you're like an electric type or a steel. Even some steel types can't even 2-hit KO this thing. So like the coverage it has with like Mystical Fire, Flamethrower. I don't know if Ricky, you know the move Mystical Fire now. Like, you've used that move before in here or not really?
Yeah, I think it was out in the previous gens. It's just
it was okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just become really popular now. Probably because Hidden Power Fire isn't a thing anymore. So I guess people have been running that more often. Yeah,
I love that move, and like the reason I love that move is because obviously something that's gonna come into Togekiss is a Steel type. Even though I already had Flamethrower, I do like Mystical Fire just because like it drops the special attack, which makes it a little bit easier to handle for other mons that might come in, like a Celesteela. Like, you know, Celesteela coming into something that is -1 special attack, and that's their only way of attacking. Like, it's just gonna laugh at the face of that. So and us taking a Pokemon that is pretty much one of the hard walls to our biggest attacker that we really want to do well is going to be amazing, because again, obviously it's a draft league, so we drafted it and no one else can use it. So now there's only 2 other Pokemons that can pretty much take this on, because even something like a Sylveon is not going to take Urshifu's double stab too well, especially with rocks up. So Togekiss was one of the biggest ones that I would say Togekiss and Clefable are probably like the 2 best ones to take on Urshifu, especially because Togekiss is fairy flying, so that's, you know, that fighting, the close combats are doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and they have reliable recovery, so they can sort of both recover up. I mean, Togekiss is a really good cleric as well, but the main reason and the true reason we really drafted it is so that we can run Choice Scarf Air Slash every game and just crit everybody and just win that way. So this was like the explanation we gave until now is just like the polite way to put it, but no, we're gonna run Choice Scarf air slash every game. You're just gonna crit everybody in. Yeah, that's the real reason why I drafted Togekiss, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, that's literally what I did in every other league.
Evil.
All right, cool. So, I actually didn't say the tiers. So Urshifu's tier 1, Celesteela's also tier 1. So that's 180 points out of our free points out of the 400. Yeah. Togekiss is tier 2, and we didn't pick a tier 2 yet, so it's not taking up any points. And the next mon that we actually did pick that we saw sitting in a very low tier. I don't know. I've never used this mon in draft yet, but I've used it. I drafted in my league, but I haven't played week 1 yet, so I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna do. But I think this mon tier 4 is just disrespectful. Because if you play around the team correctly, this mon can just come in and win you a whole game. And that mon is one of the new mons, which is Ft.Jricky. Crazy mon. First of all, its design, I love it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really good looking Reggie for sure.
Definitely.
The best one.
Definitely. It's the coolest looking one. And I think in general, especially when it comes to being an offensive Pokemon, it's definitely the best one out of the Reggies. Its ability Transistor, it's pretty much just making its electric moves 1.5 times stronger, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is wild because its special attack is pretty respectable. You know, it's not the strongest, but when you have an ability that is pretty much a choice specs and then you add another choice specs on top of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, the 100 special attack does not matter.
Yeah, and probably my favorite thing about it, and this is one of those mons that I think is probably going to be better, I mean, in the right hands in Draft League, other than in just Smogon, just because it has base 200 speed, which means you need little to no investment in speed to be able to outspeed so many mons out there, which then allows you to run Modest or Jolly, Adamant, it allows you to run one of that. So if you put like the choice specs of the ability, then you put a choice specs on top of that, and then you run it Modest, like unless you actually resist it, then that Thunderbolt is going to end up hitting really, really hard. So
really hard.
Something that I liked about this mon that I still don't know how to say its name, but I will learn during the season.
This is a learning season. But yeah, like Ricky said, the 200 speed is just ridiculous because I've already started building with this mon for my other league for like week 1 and week 2, and so far I've got up to this mon Ft.Jricky can outspeed Scarfers of base speed 110, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So if you're 110 and you have a Scarf, this thing is still gonna outspeed you and most likely kill you. So I think that's just amazing because if you have a mon that you don't even need to slap a Scarf on and you can just keep giving it like a magnet or life orb or something to make it stronger and it can still outspeed even your fastest Scarfer, like that, to me, that's just does not seem like it belongs in tier 4.
Nah, for sure. It's definitely a good value pick. Even the calc you showed me where it only needs like 12 EVs in speed to outspeed like Mega Aerodactyl, something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And like Mega Aerodactyl, like usually is one of them thought out mons because it's so fast and you just run 12 speed with this mon and you outspeed it. It's actually crazy.
I was shocked. Like Modest, 12 EVs in speed. Look it up. So again, this mon I think is going to be second MVP. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun mon to use. It's going to be annoying for sure. Okay, so next Amon, again, we want to have some really good synergy with Urshifu, and even Togekiss. This mon is going to help out a lot with Togekiss and Celesteela, because as you see, both of them are flying types, so electricity is you know, a very strong move against both of them. So the mon that we decided to go with is an OG, man, a classic, one of my favorite mons ever since I started playing Pokemon, and that is Nidoqueen. Ricky, take it away for this one.
Yeah, and I can talk about Nidoqueen because, like you said, it's just been a staple of League just since it really started, and it's just because Nidoqueen can do so many different things. It can be a life orb sort of wall breaker. It has Toxic Spike, which is something that some like Urshifu would really appreciate just being able to wear down those Mons. It gets a good, reliable stealth rocker, and like you said, it's just something that fit well into the team because of the somewhat electric sort of weakness that we've had up until this point. Sure, Regieleki resisted, but it doesn't really have the stats to sort of continuously take electric type attacks. So having him on as reliable and as bulky as Nidoqueen, just to be able to come in, just take those electric attacks and just sort of don't really care, it's really good. And then just add in the offensive power that it has and the access to toxic spikes and things like that. It's been a staple for a good reason. I mean, everybody knows how good Nidoqueen is at this point, so there's not really much else to add on top of that. But yeah, it was a pretty good fit for this team.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, like I talked about before, me and Ricky, like, you know, we know a lot about Pokemon, even though this gen is obviously different, new Pokemons, new moves, new items. We know how good Nidoqueen is, and we saw it sitting in tier 3, and I feel like it just completely completed our, like, what we needed.
Exactly.
And I think it belongs in tier 2, but tier 3 is a steal. Once again, you know, that's 2 steals in a row that I think are really gonna help our team very, very big.
Very much so. Yeah, I wouldn't argue against this being tier 2 just because it's shown time and time again what it's able to do. So it's a good value pick for sure.
Hell yeah. And then the good, you know, it also has good synergy with Kiss and Steela because, you know, ground type moves they both are immune to. So very good synergy there. Electric moves for Nidoqueen, you know, to take for both of those two, and also poison type moves and things like that, or even rock also, which is pretty good.
Exactly, yeah.
So, even though we were talking about electric weakness, we are bringing another Mon that is going to be good. We needed a good water type. Someone did draft Dracovish in rain, so we definitely needed a water absorb Mon that's going to be very key. At first, we wanted Seismitoad. Me and Ricky were just really looking forward to using Seismitoad. It's, again, another Mon that's been really good every gen. But sadly, got sniped again. You know, it happens. But the Mon that we did end up picking is another tier 3 Mon, which is Vaporeon. Vaporeon, the GOAT. In previous gens, Vaporeon was always the water type I would pick. Like, literally, it was always on my team. You know, I have a plushie of Vaporeon. I love this Mon. It's great, and it has a lot of cool things, just like the reason we picked Togekiss. A good Cleric Mon, Heal Bell, Wish. And it now has Flip Turn, which is pretty cool because literally right before this recording, me and Ricky were just having like a little chat, and we were talking about the momentum of this Mon's gonna be nice. You know, it's so bulky, so it can take hits, so it can shoot up a Wish and then Flip Turn out, and with its 130 base HP, it's gonna pretty much heal up anything right back up to full.
Yeah.
And Scald, always the number 1 move to always click.
Oh.
And yeah, what do you think about Vaporeon, Ricky?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Vaporeon.
Yeah.
I guess the reason I ended up drafting Vaporeon quite a bit as well is just because I always find it that it's tiered a little bit lower than any other sort of good bulky water type that people go for. So I think Vaporeon in itself is a really value pick as well. Even though we can't do stuff like Curse and Baton Pass because only Dry Pass is allowed, you can it's still a good Cleric. We needed that water immunity because of Dracovish, and just Scald in general is just annoying. Somebody's able to click Scald against you. You don't really have much you can do about it. This way, Vaporeon just sort of deters the possibility of them doing that. And yeah, Flip Turn was a big reason of why we picked it, just because I think that's a really good move for Pokemon like Vaporeon that just sort of pivot out. So yeah, I think Vaporeon was also a really good fit onto this team, and it was tier 3 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a lot of people ended up going with higher tier bulky water types, but I think Vaporeon, for what we want Vaporeon to do, I think it's a really good pick.
Definitely. All right, cool. We're gonna move to the next one, and you know, like Vaporeon, it's not a lot of things to say about it. It's a Vaporeon. It does a few things very nicely.
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bulky waters tend to be like that. And then the next Mon, we wanted to add some speed. We wanted to add some special power. You know, we have our Shifu that can break on the physical side. We have Regieleki to break on the special side. But if they have a ground type that's just giving us too much trouble, Regieleki is pretty much just can't do anything. So having this next mon that Ricky was the one that suggested, and now I'm like super hyped about it, is Azelf. It is also tier 2, so that's gonna be some free points taken away. And Azelf it's freaking awesome, man. First of all, this is like Ricky's favorite legendary, so you can go with this one, Ricky.
Yes, sir. I've never used Azelf in Draft League, but it's one of those mons that I've always been like, yo, I gotta use this thing, because if you look at its stats and then its move pool, it just has the possibility of doing so much. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Like Danny said, the main thing we were going for was speed, was some sort of like a special breaker just to help Urshifu a little bit. And Azelf does that pretty well. It's another ground immunity, so it's just adding another ground immunity. I don't think anybody's want to click Earthquake against us. But Azelf then offers us another Stealth Rocker, which is pretty good. It can break on the physical side. It can break more so on the special side. It has moves like Nasty Plot. So I think it's going to end up being like a really good mon to either you Life Orb it and just break through things and help Urshifu break through things, or with its 115 speed, it can even be something that just sort of comes in and cleans up, because it has a lot of different coverage. So if we can get the opposing team low enough and we can eliminate the right mons, Azelf can just come in and sort of just be a janitor and just clean up the rest of the game. So yeah, I'm personally excited. I love this mon's design. I've always liked Azelf since I was young, and I never got the chance to use it. So it's just a perfect storm, and I'm happy that we did end up going with Azelf in the end.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a first for the both of us. This mon, like, I love the design of this mon too. It just looks too cool. And for me, a lot of times when I draft things, I kind of draft them sometimes of how they look. And this is definitely, this is definitely top tier when it comes to design. And just like Ricky said, the move pool is ridiculous. Like, I didn't even know it had Play Rough, which I think is pretty. I don't know if that's new, like if it just got that this gen.
I think it's new.
It is, right? I don't remember either. Yeah. I knew it definitely had Dazzling Gleam, but I don't remember it having Play Rough. Azelf, good mon. I'm very excited. We're both gonna be doing some cool stuff with this thing. And next up, we did wanna again patch up that electric weakness a little bit more, and then also a bit of like a fire weakness, because Vaporeon, even though it is water type and it's bulky, its physical defense is not the strongest. So having another reliable mon that can take some good, like Flare Blitz from like Darmanitan and things like that, we had to add that, and we were missing a dragon, so the next mon that we did pick is a Druddigon. And I love Druddigon. It's such a good low tier dragon. I've used it in one of my other leagues for this gen, and I've brought it. Sometimes I've brought it like AV, but with with sheer force, and I literally just wrecked like 2 mons straight off the bat because they couldn't kill it. They thought it was just gonna be rocks, and I ended up ice punching, or like you can even scale shot with this thing. I don't know if you saw that move, scale shot. What it does is it's a multi-hitting dragon move. Yeah, it drops your defense, but it raises your speed. So we could play around with stuff. Like we never know, there might be a situation where Druddigon's bulkiness on the special side or physical side might be able to help us set up like 2 of those and then just wreak havoc with sheer force. Yeah. So Druddigon's cool. It got rocks, a good electric resistance, fire resistance, rough skin, rocking helmet, which is going to be great for against physical attackers, and then just putting out some strong dragon moves, because dragon is always a good typing. They hit very hard, and not many things can come into it besides like fairies and steel types. So what do you think about Druddigon?
Yeah, it has 3 really good abilities. Like, all 3 abilities are a very good use. Rough skin if you're going defensive force, and then you also have Mold Breaker, which is a pretty good ability. I don't know if any mon that's in the game at the moment gets like magic bounce, but one of the things that I've always liked to do with a Mold Breaker mon is just set up stealth rocks on a mon, on, for example, Mega Sableye. That used to happen a lot back in the day. You can just click Stealth Rock, no matter if the opposing team has Magic Bounce or not. It's just going to go through it. So Mold Breaker can be a very handy ability in certain situations as well. But yeah, Druddigon can be an offensive threat. It can be quite supportive as well, because it does get things like Taunt, it does get Roar, it does get Glare for more speed control on top of that. So yeah, for a low tier dragon, I definitely think it's a pretty good pick.
Yeah, for sure. And this next mon's gonna is another good synergy with Urshifu. We did want to get a nice bulky ghost type just to be able to take any fighting type moves for Urshifu and things like that. Or any just physical moves in general, because this mon is just pretty much eats moves for days. And that mon is Ft.Jricky. So I'm gonna let you take this one, Ricky.
Yeah, so a ghost type was kind of important because I've been in a situation where like normal spam can actually be something that's quite good
Yeah.
in league format. So just having that sort of like safety net where you know that not many mods are just going to be able to click return against you or whatever it is, that's pretty good. Ft.Jricky also gets body press this gen, which I heard is a pretty good
it's pretty great
move on it because it uses defense instead of attack, and it has like 145 defense, so that's pretty good. It's just another toxic spikes mon, which is great because sometimes Nidoqueen may, because of all the coverage it has, it may not want to run toxic spikes on a certain week, and we can just have that on Ft.Jricky instead. It's just a really fat mon. Like in terms of physical attacks, there's not much that it really cares about. Like knockoff could be a little bit annoying, but I think we have enough things on our team to where knockoff won't be too much of a problem for us.
Yeah.
And it can just do cool stuff like Memento to allow Urshifu then to come in if we want to bulk up with it or whatever it is. It also has like that side of you can run Trick Room with it, and it can be pretty. It can be a pretty cool gimmick in that situation. So yeah, there's potential with Kofag. I think everybody knows what it does. Is just sits in front of you and doesn't really care about your physical moves, and is just going to be annoying with either spreading out Will-O-Wisps, setting up toxic spikes, and it's just going to work towards the aim of getting Urshifu all the kills. It's just going to make it a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. And like, you know, cool thing with like Mummy and everything, causing mons that touch it to lose its ability, which can be really crucial for the rest of the team. And even in the past, sometimes I've run like nasty plot Ft.Jricky, man, and like it does well. 95 special attack with Ghost. With, you know, Ghost is a type of move that's good against a lot of Pokemons. Yeah.
Pretty spammable, yeah. And the cool thing with Mummy is that a lot of mons rely on their ability to be as good as they are, and if we can just remove that element from them, it's going to make it that much easier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember going up against this thing, man. I just hated it. It's so annoying. So then the next mon, like now we're getting into the lower tier. So the next two that we did pick are gonna be the tier 5s. And the first one up is a mon that you all know and love, and it is Kangaskhan. This mon, again, design wise, I love it. Ever since the early Pokemon games, I would always want to catch this Pokemon, even though it's so hard to fucking catch.
That's why we wanted it so much, because it was so hard to get.
Because we want it, yeah. And I mean, like, this thing tier 5, I think is really, really good. Like, you can already see straight off the bat with its HP, with its attack, its defense. 105 HP is really good, man. Like anything over 100, even like 90 and things like that are really nice when you have the ability to pass wishes around. Especially to things like Ft.Jricky. You know, like let's say they're both on the same team one week. We got a fighting type that's about to smack Kangaskhan after it did a wish. We go into Koff, who has what, like 55 or something HP, and 158, 105 HP. Going to something with HP that low is literally, if you were at 1%, I'm sure it would fill all the way up. You know what I mean? And Kangaskhan is cool. We were kind of deciding between Licky and Kangaskhan, because I think they're both pretty good value picks for tier 5. The reason we went for Kangaskhan though was because of the speed. So we didn't want to have another slow mon. You know, we have like Druddigon, we have Ft.Jricky, very slow. We didn't want to have another one in Licky to be that slow. And to be honest, I don't know, I feel like Kangaskhan I'm kind of starting to like a little bit better than Licky just because of it can be bulky, but it doesn't only have to be bulky. I feel like Licky without setup, it's kind of lacking in the power side. Yeah. It
can be a little setup fodder, and
yeah, exactly.
It has a speed, like HP is pretty much the same in stat wise, but something else that I really like about Kangaskhan is scrappy. So with Licky, if somebody brings in like a ghost type, it can be quite difficult for Licky to be able to break substitutes, for example. I
Yeah.
know it gets knockoff, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really hit that hard.
Yeah.
So with Kangaskhan, Scrappy, it's a little bit easier to like not be so worried about ghost types because you can just spam return. It's pretty good, and it's our third wisher on the team. So our walls that don't have reliable recoveries, like Ft.Jricky or Dredagon, they are just going to be able to just get a second life if it does come down to that.
Definitely. And a really cool thing that also was added to Scrappy this generation is that now it's immune to Intimidate. So even if someone has like, a Crocodile or Landorus, things like that, to try to take on Kangaskhan, it's not going to drop its attack. And that's, again, another Mon, a tier 5 Mon that will be able to chip down things for Shifu that are going to be pretty useful. You get rid of something that has Intimidate, or Shifu does not have to worry about like clicking U-turn, or we'll have to do a double or anything like that. So Kangaskhan's ability, Scrappy, like I love that it's just gotten even better this generation. All right, cool. So this next one, guys, this next one is probably the best pick of the whole draft.
We've been fooling you. Our star is not Urshifu. Our star is the next one.
Our star is this next one. All right, guys, so you ready for it? 3, 2, 1. Thwacky.
We're getting thwacky, yeah.
We're getting thwacky. That's just hard to say. All right. I mean, I know it's a new Mon, but I don't know if you want to like start off, Ricky, just like chatting about it.
Yeah, it's what are you gonna say about Thwacky? Everybody knows it's a threat. Like, you better watch out. Thwacky is a threat. He's a boy with 2 sticks, and he's ready to put in work. The main reason we did draft Thwacky is, one, we didn't exactly have a grass type, and it's always good to have grass type. It's one of those typings that synergize well with water types anyways. But yeah, Thwacky does have Grassy Surge, and it does have Grassy Slide, and it does have Wood Hammer. So to an extent, it's obviously a budget Rillaboom, but it's something that can put a dent into a team, especially because I have a feeling that when you see a non-fully evolved Mon on somebody else's team, if it's like a tier 5, you don't really spend too much time prepping for that Mon. So if we can just stick in there a cheeky little Thwacky into our team, and we can just go ahead and click grass moves, and that's going to be able to help. It's not bad. Like, if you put Eviolate on it, it's going to be able to take some hits. But yeah, the main reason we sort of drafted it is because it has Grassy Surge, Grassy Slide, and Wood Hammer. And even if you do end up resisting Wood Hammer in Grassy Surge, it's still going to be able to do a decent amount of damage. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about Thwacky. It's a boy with 2 sticks, and he's ready to put in work.
Yeah, man. I don't know, like, I'm pretty excited about this one. Again, I feel like our 2 tier 5 picks have been really good. I feel like they're Mons that, again, like you said, people are not gonna plan for it too much, but I think can come like decent amount of weeks. And then the other good thing about Thwacky here is that it also gets Source Dance. So even if, like, again, someone, like you said, is not planning for it, they're not planning to take on a grass type, and they're only worried about a Shifu or Lecky or Azelf, and this thing can set up a Swords Dance and just Grassy Slide away. Like, that priority is great because 80 speed's not bad, but having the priority where we could just run Adamant, Life Orb, and just pretty much wreck through a whole team.
Exactly. We can extend terrain to run for 8 turns instead of just the 5s.
Yeah.
So like, if we can wear down a team enough and they don't really have too many Grassy Slide, Thwacky can indeed put in a decent amount of work.
Yeah. And I don't know, I really like these 2 picks. Just because a lot of times when I draft like alone, I don't find the best tier 5 picks sometimes, so I feel like I hardly ever even use them.
Exactly.
So, but I feel like this one's, like, these are gonna come a lot more, and just for the reasons that we did pick them, like Kangaskhan for wishing, Thwacky just for being a surprise, something that can come in, cause havoc, and then even if it doesn't win us the game, it sets it up for everybody else. And but yeah, like Ricky said, I think he put it like the best way possible. People do not plan for these. Like, I've in the past not planned for like an NFE Mon, and and I got wrecked. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it beat me down. All right, cool. So again, guys, like that's pretty much the whole draft. We had 11 mons. I hope you guys did like just our explanation, and it's really nice having Ricky here, and this is gonna be a whole team thing in general. I will be doing these live with Ricky as long as our schedules are aligned pretty well, because sometimes like Ricky can record certain times, sometimes I can't record certain times. So we're gonna try to do all of them live. Live content's always been the funnest thing for the both of us. And Ricky, like me and Ricky haven't done videos in so long, so it's gonna be a good way to kind of just bring that feel back. And who knows, maybe Ricky will come back one day too. Who knows,
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll
That's a big maybe. But yeah, so look forward to that. It's gonna be a really cool series that is gonna be added to the schedule. We're gonna have some showdown lives, most likely on Mondays. I think these draft league content will either go up on like a Wednesday or a Friday, and then my other league will fill in whatever the day I didn't pick for this one. So I'm gonna try to be doing like 3 videos a week, as much as I can. So it'll be pretty fun. This one's I hope you guys really do enjoy this one. Make sure you do drop some likes, because having Ricky here with me is gonna be a blast. And yeah, well, that's it everybody. So make sure that you guys do subscribe again. Channel is starting up again, so all the love, all the comments, all the likes, subscribes is all gonna be amazing. Let's start this off right. This is gonna be one of my first videos back. And then again, just thank you to Ricky for being here with me, and we're gonna be doing these hopefully every week until the season's done, and hopefully we'll come out with a championship at the end.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, have a good one. Peace.